Let's see how the keep filter function, the remove filter function works. That will be the last I'm going to look at that. So that is the remove filter function. Remove filter. Now this filter works as a nested function. They work best. They work when you use it with other functions. That's how this function works. They are not really a standalone function. Now we have the calculate function, which is sum. Okay, I'm still interested in this particular column. Okay, and the filter this time around is remove filters. Okay, the argument here is clear filters from the specified table or column. Okay, I'm still interested in that particular column, sales, territory, country. So I hit on my enter button. I drag and drop them. Now you can see it remove filter from that particular column. With every filter I make use of here, it's not affected by that filter. Doesn't matter the number of countries I've selected, it's not affected by that. The moment you click on a country, it will remove it off. But when you select a country, it's going to remove that filter off. It will ensure that the filter does not affect your selection, does not affect the value in this column. That's why it's called remove filter. Any selection you make, it will ensure that your selection does not affect the value in this column. It will remove the effect of such selection on the value of this column. And see what it is. It works similar like all filter. Why all filter is for all the old columns. Why remove filter? Once you select it, it removes it for that for all the old column as well. But this remove, why the all is works. Let's see, the all is for the old column. It gives you the aggregate value. You can see very similar to. So whenever you either use the all filter or use the remove filter while working in that, because this should provide similar results in many circumstances, within the very similar in most contexts, in most situations, they give similar results. So let's look at another function there. I think we've touched a lot. Of functions. Okay, we've touched keep filters. Okay, let's look at the summarize column function. And we're going to look at summarize column function. And summarize column function. Okay, let's just see some function. Let's look at the summarize column function. But before we look at the summarize column function, let's look at the summarize function. Now, the summarize column function and the summarize function, they produce a table output. They produce a result in the form of a table. They produce a result in the form of a table. So if I want to use that, I have to click on new modeling. I go to new table. Now, let's look at this. I have a table here known as the product table. If I want to summarize this product table, I have a product table here. If I want to summarize the product table, this is my product table. I have how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So if I want to summarize my product table, or I want to pick columns from different tables, okay, let's use the summarize function first. Let's call that new table. And okay, I'm going to use summarize. That's a summarize function. Okay. Now, this is a summarize. Okay, you can see the summarize function as the first argument is a table name. You have to specify the name of the table you want to summarize. In this particular case, I'm interested in the product table, and I want to summarize the product table. I only need specific columns in the product table. I don't need all the columns. So this is a group by. How do I want to group by the column name? Now that's group by. Then I add this and I have the column name. Now this is the first argument, the second argument. The third argument must be a name. Okay. Now, for instance, that I'm interested in the product table. Now, which columns? Now, this represents these are the columns that can be found. Now, these are the columns that can be found. In the. These are the columns that can be found in the product table. These are the columns you can see in the product table. The product category, the product column. Let's assume I'm interested in this. I'm also interested in this. Now, but let me stop there and type a bracket close and hit enter. Now you can see the value there. Now you can see that there. If I want to view that, I go to my table view. I click on that. You can see I selected two columns. Okay. Now let me click on this. Now when I select the third column, let's assume I'm interested in list price. Now we have how many? First, second, column 3. Okay. Bracket close and hit enter. You can see it gives me the third column. So if I want more and more column, it will keep giving me more column, but I only need those 3 columns. So those are the columns that I'm interested in. I can decide to call this column now. I decide to call this, instead of list price, I call it price, and I hit on the enter button. Column price handled by price expansion must have a scalar expression specified. Okay, that means it works with a table that has a single value. That means I can't use it in this particular table. Okay, there's something again I want to do. Let's see order by. Let's assume I want to use the order by here. That means I want to sort the table. I want to sort that particular table. Order by. Let's assume I want to sort it down. The product list price. Product list price. Okay, let me copy this. Let me copy this and let me go to Dax. Let me run it in Dax. Because at times when you run that here, it gives a little bit of.
There is no comma before order.
Okay, is there no comma there? Okay, let me.
Yeah, there's no comma there.
That's where I'm having a error. Okay. Okay, order by. I'm still dealing with the error. Product term. Well, let me just take it to Dax. Let's go to Dax. It's always baked in when it comes to Dax. Okay, let's see, evaluate this. Product list price. Okay. Now let's highlight all these. Now I don't know why. When you use at times you use the order by here, it gives a little bit of edit. But let me copy it here and paste it there. You can see when I copy and paste it, it might definitely run. I'll just paste it there, and you'll discover that it won't give us any issue. It's still giving us the error sign. I don't know why it normally brings up an error sign. Why only in the Power BI section? But when you only in the that section, it goes without any error. So that's the order by there. So let's see what else again. Yeah. So let's use a filter function. Okay, we are going to look at filter function. We are going to look at user relationship. We are going to look at post filter. Okay, let's go to. Let's quickly look at. Let's first and foremost, let's look at the filter function. Now, the filter function also helps you to summarize your table. Okay, I've used the summarize function. Let me use summarize column function. Summarize column function. So this is new table. This time around, I'm going to use summarize column. Okay, I'm going to use the summarize column function. Now, the summarize column function, the first, I have an argument. I also, the second, I can also put a table name. Okay, now in this particular case, let's assume I need a column from the sales table. Let's say I need a sales amount from the sales table. I need a column from the product table. Let's say the product list price. Now the third argument here, first argument, second argument. Okay, I can also do down another column name. Okay, let's assume here I used the product. Let's assume I'm interested in the product. Okay, I'm interested in this. Let's take that as my first argument. Okay, close and hit enter. Let's just exercise patience. Now, the difference between the summarize function and the summarize column function is that the summarize column function gives you the opportunity to select data from different tables. Summarize column function. Okay. New table. Summarize column function. Now you can see. Now you can see I selected the data from the product table. I selected the data from the sales table. So the difference between the two summarize function and the summarize column function is that the summarize column function gives you the opportunity to select data from different tables. While the summarize function, you can only select columns from a particular table. While the summarize column, you can select data from different tables, different columns from different tables. You get a column from table A, get another column from table B, get from C, get from D to form a new table. Now let's do the filter function. The filter function also gives an output, a table output. So let's click new table. Since the result of the filter function is a table, so let's call that new table. So in this particular case, we are using the filter function. So the filter. Now, because it helps to filter the value or in a particular table. Now, the first, it has two arguments. The first argument is a table argument. Let's assume I'm interested in the product table. Now, so the second argument is a filter expression. Now, in this product table, let me go to my product table. In the product table, and this is my product table. I have a column known as category. In this column known as category, I have different product category. I have components, I have accessories, I have bikes, I have bikes categories, I have bikes products category. I also have clothing as part of the product category. So for instance, let's assume I'm interested in the components, the product category components. So the first argument in this filter function is a table. So the table I'm interested in is the product table, which I'm specifying. The second argument I'm interested in is the components. So the column known as what category. I'm interested in the column category. And that column category, I'm only interested in the product known as components. And for instance, if I'm interested to know the product component, I just only want to know about that particular product. So I click on components. You can see that filter. Then when I go to the table view, in order to enable me to view the table, you can see it gives me the same column, the same number of columns like the product table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When I go to my product table, I have the same column, the same number of columns, but in this particular case, I only have category in my components column. So that's how the filter function works. Now let's look at the user relationship function. Okay, the user relationship function, there also is a filter in that. The user relationship function is a filter function on that. But before you can use that function, your table in Power BI must be connected. Okay. Now you can see this table here. I have the date table here. My date table is connected to my sales table. Okay, let me remove this line, this broken line. Let me delete it off. Now, I have two relationships here. I place my mouse pointer here. You can see these two tables are connected together with a column known as date key, while here I have the date key. Now, whenever I want to use the user relationship function, for instance, first and foremost, let me go to my date function. Let's assume in my date function, I pick the year. I have the year column here. I drag and drop there. That's the year. And I go to my sales table and I pick the sales amount value. Now that gives me the sales for each year, 2017 to 2020. But this sales that I'm seeing here is based on the due dates. Is based on the due date because the date table and the sales table are connected together with a particular column known as the due date key. So this value I'm seeing here is based on the due date. Now, in a business, when sales is made, when sales is made, they have a time for collection of cash. Now, some business make a recording. Immediately they make sales. Either they collect the cash or not, they will record that sales has been made. While in some business or some organization, they record it based on let's assume they give them some time to pay off the debt, the due date. So at the due date, they see the number of customers that have paid off their debt up to a certain amount. So they record that amount as the sales for that particular month or that particular year. So that's the due date. Now the value we're seeing here is the sales amount based on the due date. So there are some customers that are yet to pay, but they've already made sales for that particular product. So the way the table is connected here, this two tables is connected based on the due date. So the sales amount we are seeing here is based on the due date. So this is this total sales amount for each year based on the due date. For instance, I want to now calculate the total amount based on another criteria. For instance, based on the order date, I want to use that the date in which the goods was ordered, whether the customer pays or not, as long as the order was made, it is assumed that sales has been made. So now, if I decide to remove this, to delete it off, every visualization I have on this particular document, I have some visualization here. All this visualization will be affected. So if I don't want those visualizations to be affected, if I don't want those visualizations to be affected, I can now use the user relationship. That's what situation is the user relationship. But before I can use the user relationship, these two tables must be connected. So I want to connect it. I want to calculate the sales amount based on the order dates. So I'm going to drag and drop here to create a link between the two tables. Now you can see it's a broken one. This to tell you that this relationship, the link between these two tables are not active. So, but I can now use my user relationship. Since I've created a link between the two tables, so I can now use, for instance, I can now play mode to new measure. Now my new measure has a sales amount, but I'm using the user relationship. That's why you can use the user relationship. Okay, the user relationship. So let's say calculate. We want to calculate the sum of sales. Sum of sales amount. Now, user relationship is also a filter in that. Now it has two arguments. The first argument is the main table. The main table is the sales table. And which column am I interested in? I'm interested in the sales order. Key, the sales table dot the sales order. Okay, this is what I'm interested in. Then the other column I'm interested in is the date table. And the date table. Which column in the date table? I'm interested in the date key. So hit enter. So when I hit enter, you can see I drag and drop here. Now you can see the value, the sales amount. Now this represents sales amount based on the order date, the date at which the goods were ordered. You can see it's higher than the sales amount based on the good date. So we are going to stop here. Tomorrow, next week Sunday, we are going to continue. Any question before I go? We have 1 more minute left. Okay, no question. So see you next week Sunday.